JDs and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. How we be, how we do. Hopefully you guys are all doing fantastic, doing swell. All the things we love to see right here, let me tell you. How we doing, guys? Hello, hello. How we be, how we do. Happy Monday, everyone. Am I a JD or a gentleman? I'll let you decide. Or maybe you're neither, and that's also completely fine, you know? This is about self-expression, if you will. Also, Price, thank you so much for being a kitsune and redeeming that. Also, Lindsay, love your name, love the spelling. That's so crazy. Who would put a finger down if your name is Lindsay? You know? But thank you so much, Price, for being a kitsune, by the way. The $100 member tier on the channel. Not only that, but hold on, will it tell me? They took away the fact that it tells me. I don't know how many months it was. They did an update to my program and it doesn't tell me how long you've been one. But you've been one for a schminute, and for that, I appreciate you immensely. Hey, 68 months. Hey, I'm gonna assume it's somewhere along there because you double redeemed on YouTube and Twitch. So, thank you so much. Hello to everyone on the red platform. Hello to everyone on the purple platform as well. If you hear me talking to someone that you can't see in the chat, it's probably because they're on the other platform. But, hello, how you be? Hi, Burgundy. I loved your appearance on the Vandy Vinny video. I honestly forgot I had an appearance, so I did it. Purple platform. Exactly, exactly. Yay! Congrats on the ring size and being a success, Strawberry. I forgot that all was happening in your life. I'm so excited. You were the star of the video. I need to like watch it and like read the comment section because I genuinely keep forgetting that that's a thing, to be honest with you. But we're here. I figured today would just kind of be like a chill stream, if you will. Overall thought is we can watch my week 1 battle for everyone who's, like I said, not a YouTube member, not a Twitch sub. That way you guys can still see the draft video. I will not be able to show my POV of it because I had a little oopsie in my POV because this is like my first return to like draft, if you will, since Gen 6. I was really concerned about my first battle being like really overstimulating and like too much being on the screen, and then I like can't focus because I'm like, oh, I need to do this, blah, blah, blah. So I just figured the less on the screen, the better. That way I can lock in, right? That worked to my demise because my plan was make sure OBS is recording, minimize OBS, and then turn on the Lock the Frick In playlist on Spotify. So I did that, right? But what I didn't realize was that when I click play on Spotify, that there's a little widget that pops up in the corner of the screen. And that widget, not only did I not know was there, but it perfectly blocked all of 𝗔𝗎𝗏's HP bars. So that was a little oofy. That and all of the copyright music that should have not been in it, I had no idea was being captured because I had OBS minimized. So there were just a lot of layers to it all. But 𝗔𝗎𝗏 gave me a copy of his footage. I know other people have reacted to our battle as well. So what I'll probably do is I'll just kind of show you 𝗔𝗎𝗏's POV and just kind of like pause it and give feedback like where I can, you know, just kind of like my thought process into stuff and everything like that. Just because I feel like that's more entertaining than me showing my POV and like muting it, you know? His is probably better anyways because then you like, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. But I did fix it for week 2 and I have spent literally all day today prepping for week 3. So your boy got a promotion and a $4 raise at Arby's. Congratulations, Tom. Congratulations. We love to see that. Congrats on the promotion. Do you know 𝗔𝗎𝗏 in real life? I do. 𝗔𝗎𝗏 is a really good friend of mine. I have known 𝗔𝗎𝗏 for years, actually. He's great. He is awesome. This is a 𝗔𝗎𝗏 safe household. Genuinely one of the kindest, most genuine people you will ever meet, and you'll definitely see that like in our like battle because he's just so positive about everything, and I adore him, and I hope he does really well in this league. He drafted a very, like, unconventional team. Like, it's conventional, yet very unconventional at the same time, and I love that for him. So I'm really curious to see how it does with the rest of the season, considering the fact that I probably won't fight him again, I'm assuming. Also, ignore me gifting Nightbot a sub, but hi, 𝗏𝗡𝗔𝗓𝗓. Welcome to the stream. How we be, how we do. But let me start the watch party here. No, he's like the person you see on camera from 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is his entire personality. I got to hang out with him in person at Atlanta Regionals. We did karaoke together. Like it's a really good time. I think he's a wonderful guy. I have genuinely not a bad word to say about 𝗏𝗏𝗏. And in this watch party, if anyone says a mean word about him, you're dead to me. Let's make one thing very clear. Let's make one thing very clear. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 slander is not allowed in this household. Not that I think anyone here would, but 𝗏𝗏𝗏 slander, not allowed. All right, let me... Oh my God, everything is broken. Why is everything breaking? And why is the playlist freaking out? Okay, there we go. Better. Better! Alright.
In the battle league. You guys have no...
Alright, let me... Here we go. Are you going to Worlds with Vandy? I am. Vandy and I are both going to Worlds. We leave for Worlds next Wednesday. So my battles for this league are a little messed up, if you will, because of it. But I will fight my week 4 when we get back from Worlds. Like literally the day after we get back, I do my week 4 battle. But I'm very excited. It doesn't feel real yet. Like, I think that's the thing about me is my brain doesn't allow me to like process the fact that something's happening. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. Can't wait to hopefully run into the both of you. Yeah, hopefully we can cross paths. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, to be honest with you. I really loved Worlds in Hawaii, and obviously this one's way more local. That's not what I want. We'll do that later. We'll do that later. And then we'll go bing. Hey, look, chat. 𝗏𝗏𝗏. All right. Like I said, I'll just kind of like pause and give my feedback, ideas, like how this battle kind of played out to me as we kind of go along. So I'll probably skip through a bit of the team builder.
Of BUBL. I am so excited for this. I hope you guys are too. If you guys are new, subscribe for more Draft League content. Leave a like.
Subscribe to 𝗏𝗏𝗏, chat.
So
please.
For
VG 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
You guys have no idea. I love the people that we're playing with. I love the draft system. I love everything about it. It's just good, fun, good people.
Yup.
I hope you guys are excited. Check out all the coaches in the description of this video as well, especially my opponent, Linz, in the Atlanta 𝗏𝗏𝗏. She is wonderful. I have known Linz for quite a long time. Very excited to get to play her. Very excited to see her debut in singles draft league. I believe it's her debut. I know she's done some VGC and stuff like that, but if I'm wrong, don't yell at me. But I believe it to be. And if I'm wrong, hook me. Super scary team. Super scary team. She drafted very well. Some very terrifying Terra captains. But you guys already saw our draft analysis, and if you didn't, check out the description because we're playing with some heat this season. This is one of my favorite teams I've ever drafted, and I hope you guys think so as well. We've got the 6 that I think we needed to take her on. So definitely, if you guys don't want to watch the team builder, there will be some text floating somewhere on screen in post-production if you want to hop right on ahead of the battle. I always recommend you guys watch the team builder so that way you guys know what I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. It's week 1. Don't skip the team builder. It's hype.
We're going to skip through it a little bit. Just a little bit.
All that being said, I appreciate your time. You guys are going to start to see some teams appear on screen right about now. My opponent has a team that consists of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Galarian, Slowking, Hoopa Unbound, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Milotic, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Mousehold, Flygon, and Hisuian Decidueye. Her 2 Terra captains are 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. She does have...
Okay, so basically, in case any of you guys haven't seen my team in draft before, I know chat's kind of covering it a little bit, but we have a double regen core between 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Pokemon out, it regains HP by the time you bring it back in. So anytime I'm switching out with these guys, they're just literally constantly regaining HP. Tornadus Therian I used in my Gen 6 draft league. I love him. He's so silly. He lost a little bit of coverage, which is a little unfortunate, but he's still really good. And I am glad that I have him over 𝗟𝗡𝗏 because that was like what went next, and that's technically like third in line for what most people would pick. But I love 𝗏𝗏. I think he's great. Like I said, that's the double regen core. I also did draft Hoopa Unbound. I had him in my Gen 6 draft as well. Hoopa Unbound is literally just there to click funny button. You choice ban this thing and you just try to do as much damage as possible. It is harder in these newer gens as I'm kind of going through these weeks just because of the sheer amount of Pokemon that they gave U-turn to, which was not a thing when I had battled originally. So a lot of things outspeed it. A lot of things just want to click U-turn, and that's tough in this league right now. Excadrill is here to do Excadrill things. It's here to spin. It's here to set up rocks. It's here to like just be that guy. You know what I mean? He is a rock setter, rapid spinner. Obviously he can still do some damage with Earthquake and any kind of rock type move. Pixelate Sylveon is also pretty obvious. You know what I mean? It's either there to wish and then support the entire team through the passive healing, or we sit there and we click Hyper Voice. I can technically Calm Mind. The issue is Baton Pass is banned in this gen, so if I were to set Calm Mind, I can't run Baton Pass on Sylvie. Just because if you pass stats, it's an immediate forfeit just to make it friendlier for like the newer people who are joining. One of my Terra Captains is Skeledirge. I hadn't used Skeledirge in Scarlet and Violet. I was a 𝗟𝗡𝗏𝗏 person through and through. So this is my introduction to Skeledirge, and he is fat. We basically been running defensive Skeledirge for the most part all season, just like literally there to be fat. Hi, Bunny. Hi, Chantal. Speaking of helping me mock, I was in call with Chantal and Bunny all day. Doing mocks for this week's battle. So shout out to them. If you guys are on the Twitch side, say hi to Flair and Bunny. They're the goats. We love them. Also, if Tristan shows up, you're the goat. So yeah, defensive Skeledirge for the most part. Obviously, Torch Song still allows you to get your special attack boost and everything like that. So really just trying to pivot off that as much as humanly possible. Will-O-Wisp into Hex is nasty, especially if you have some Torch Songs up. But Slack Off with the defensive build literally just allows you to sit there and take hits over and over and over again and dish out damage. Milo's my GOAT. I've said this for years. I would first pick Milo. I don't care how much people think it is a throw. Milo is so good, and the amount of people who don't respect Milo anymore, even though she's a Gen 3 mon, is crazy. Milo is fat. Milo does damage. Milo has so much HP recovery. It is such a wall that is so hard to break through. I love Milo so much. So Milo is literally there to do that. You can either run competitive, and if your stats get lowered, like, I don't know, something that might happen, we'll see. You get the special attack boost, or you can run Flame Orb and then get an immediate buff to your defense stat. Hi, Ben. So that was kind of the thought process behind Milo. I love her. Like I said, I would first pick this mon, and I don't care how much people think a throw. Milo's proved her worth. Anyways, we have the second Terra Captain. If you can't tell by the picture, because I know it's kind of covered, that is Terra 𝚐𝚑𝚗. 𝚐𝚑𝚗 is literally here to pivot off of Galarian Slowking, setting up Chilly Reception. If snow is on the ground, 𝚐𝚑𝚗 goes crazy. Speed go nuts. Damage boost in the snow. Like everything. It's crazy. So obviously another Terra Captain just to really like hard be able to drive off of the snow. So those two are kind of, for the most part, a package deal. They kind of go a little crazy. I did draft the fan favorite. If you guys were here for Subathon last year, obviously you love the mice. I love the mice. The Jerrys are here. Jerry's are here to do exactly what they did when we did subathon and we did showdown battles with 6 mice. They are here to tidy up, pop bomb, encore, U-turn. I don't know. Pick your 4th move for whatever you need. Mice are silly. They are fast. They do a lot of damage. So into any kind of squishy comp, especially if they don't have the speed stat to be able to deal with it, the mice are here to be that guy and just sweep as much as possible. They're also a hazard removal with tidy up. So just overall really good. Flygon is there basically to be my backup rock setter. Obviously, it's a dragon type. It's the only dragon on my team. Another ground type, obviously, as well, just to help with some of those other weaknesses that we have. So if for any reason it's a bad week for me to bring Excadrill, Flygon's that kind of backup guy. Obviously, it's able to do, I don't want to say more damage output than what Excadrill's capable of, but it's just a totally different move pool, you know what I mean? So you still get access to Earthquake, but you have a little bit more versatility in things like Draco Meteor, or you could run Loaded Dice Flygon if you want to. There's some crazy things that you can do. And then the last mon that's covered by the rock is Hisuian Decidueye, if you can't tell by the picture. Grass fighting type is just really like good defensively into a lot of my team. Like I said, it covers a lot of weaknesses. Scrappy to be able to hit ghost types is really good. You can make this thing really fast if you want it to be. And it does a lot of damage. Like, not a lot of things want to take a close combat from a Hisuian Decidueye. Triple arrows, like 3 different effects on one move. Kind of crazy. The ability for Leaf Blade to crit if this thing gets in low HP. Like, kind of nutty. So that's kind of just the overall plan with the team and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for the follow, gamer. I appreciate you.
Snow mode with Chilly Reception and Slowking.
I'll let you guys see what he brought into me.
Captain 𝚬𝚘 with Slush Rush. With on her
you already know.
Her Max attack and Eviolite with the Swift Swim ability, Gunk Shot, Crunch, Liquidation, and Spikes. We have max attack investment, 40 EVs in defense, 56 in special defense, 160 in speed with an adamant nature. What does this do for us? So first and foremost, the Eviolite paired with our natural typing, this helps in the event that Hoopa Unbound shows up. We are able to take a hit from, with our defense investment with the Eviolites, we are able to take a hit from Banded Hoopa Unbound. I don't want to, but we can, depending on the coverage moves that she may or may not bring on there. 246 in speed is going to put us 1 point above Adamant 𝚬𝚘. If we do end up in the rain, we are outspeeding everything on her side of the field, of course. The remainder of our EVs, 56 of those, put in a special defense just to make sure that we get the most bang for our buck with the Eviolites. Items like Gunk Shots, or moves like Gunk Shots, Tornadus, Mousehold, Milotic, 𝚬𝚘, Sylveon, Hisuian Decidueye, none of them like that. Crunch is very nice coverage for.
None of them do like that. I can very much so tell you that. His team builder is longer than our actual battle. Love him for that. So I'm gonna skip around a little bit just to save you guys some time. But so Hisuian Quillfish was his first mon. Second mon being Raging Bolt, obviously.
We have 68 EVs in attack, 52 EVs in special attack, 168 EVs in special defense, 220 in speed with a modest nature. Chase, you're running a modest nature, but you have attack investment. Hear me out. Hear me out. First up, let's talk about from a speed angle. If she is running like a max speed timid spec Sylveon, we are outspeeding that by 1 point. We are outspeeding things like Skeledirge unless it is very fast. 𝚬𝚘 probably wants to run a lot of speed, but if she's not running max speed Adamant,
thank you so much.
She's just running like a mid-tier speed.
I appreciate you so much.
We do outspeed that.
Just want to show some appreciation. You're a hero. Thank you, thank you.
168 in EVs in special defense, paired with our huge HP stat, paired with the Assault Vest, is going to allow us to be 3-hit KO'd by modest spec Sylveon. Crazy. Crazy, I know.
Yeah, he built this thing basically specifically for Sylveon. Obviously, Heavy Slam goes really crazy into it. Assault Vest is nuts into my team. AV is probably one of the best things people can run into my team with just how specially offensive it is for the most part. Like, I definitely have some physical attackers with like Flygon, Hisuian Decidueye, like Hoopa Unbound, Excadrill, 𝚬𝚘. Well, I mean, like I do have some physical offense. I do, but a lot of my like fat core, if you will, is special. So it's kind of like you pick your battles, but I digress. This thing was basically built to be fat and to be able to counter not only Milo but Sylvie. TLDR. Then we have his Terra Captain, Terra Lokix.
For us. First off, Lokix.
Terra Dark, by the way, in case you guys can't see that in the top.
Kicks monster. Running this through damage calc, insane damage output. Absolutely mind-boggling how hard this thing hits with Tinted Lens and a Terra. I must have underestimated 102 base attack somewhere because my god, does it just go off. I didn't want to run like a hyper first impression set. I think there's two schools of thought with that. You know, there can be, you know, playing against your opponent as opposed to your opponent's team. You know, are they going to prep for the first impression? Are they not going to? Do they bring Protect on 5 out of their 6 mons just to scout for the first impression? If I do I run a choice band? Because then I can't do anything after that.
No, it wasn't even first impression, Gek.
But if they brought the Protect for that, then I'm kind of out of luck there. You could go into it saying like, okay, I'll bring the first impression with something else, but if we're not bringing the choice band, it's not doing as much damage output. Do I want to run the Terra bug? And looking at the calcs, Terra...
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize my camera blocked it. Hold on. Let me move myself, actually. That's a really good call. Where's my... This one. Where do I put myself? Like, probably like here. I think here's out of the way. Yeah, we'll do that. You guys know it's me. You know it's 𝚑𝚘𝚗.
Dark knockoff with a choice band goes crazy. First off, we're not locked into the first impression. We don't need to switch if it fails. We can just keep spamming Terra Dark knockoff. It's fantastic. Throat Chop is really there. Let's finish up the moves, and then I'll talk about the EVs. I'm going out of order, and it's messing up my mojo. Throat Chop is there specifically. So the 𝗚𝚑𝚘𝚗 itself, let's take a look at this calc here. Specifically as it relates to the 𝗚𝚑𝚗, I don't think she would bring Moonblast over, like, why would low kicks ever stand against this thing, right? Is kind of my thought process on it. Obviously, you know, if I did run hyper bug offense, Terra bug, you know, something like a leech life is gonna hurt a lot, right? But if we're taking a look at like an offensive 𝗚𝚑𝚗, right? Taking a look at just like max special attack, max speed specs, even throwing a little bit of bulk there. Banded, not even Terra Dark. There we go. Terra Dark knockoff to a, let's do it. Max HP 𝗚𝚑𝚗. Max HP 𝗚𝚑𝚗. Very bulky Pokemon in my opinion. Terra Dark Banded knockoff. Oko's 100% of the time after rocks. She has to bring...
Is that not crazy? Is that not absolutely crazy? That it Oko's a max HP 𝗚𝚑𝚗 after rocks? That's insane. That's resisted.
Like, what if I just ran, let's run it. Bold with rocks or hazards up. She has to run max HP and a lot, like at least 128 defense with a bold nature in order to not be, to avoid a chance of being O-code by knockoff after rocks.
Insane.
Ability. We have ice.
So that's low kicks. We also have a great Tusk here.
Rocky helmet with the photosynthesis ability. We have Ice Spinner, Headlong Rush, Rapid Spin, and Stealth Rock. 72 EVs in HP, 196 in attack, 240 in speed with an adamant nature. This is 1 point faster than 𝗔𝗎𝚘𝚗𝚘 outside of snow. It's not the fastest mon, like it's base 87, so it could be faster than Milotic. She's not going to run a max speed Milotic. Excadrill and Flygon are always going to like just be faster than this naturally. We've got a pretty good defensive backbone in order to take a hit off of Flygon or Excadrill. Pretty freely can go for a rapid spin. Her ghost type is a Skeledirge. I don't think it has the best matchup against a rain team. So I can spin pretty freely, I would like to think. Do have access to rocks. Being able to get those up is always great. She does have a few mons weak to rocks in the form of Skeledirge, 𝗔𝚗𝚗, and I'm looking for it here. Tornadus Therian, thank you.
So that is great Tusk. Sorry, brain could not think of the name. After that, he brought Pelipper. Big milk, chat.
Yes, we are outspeeding Adamant 𝗔𝚗𝚗𝚗, excuse me. We do not hit 246. We hit 247 because of the jump. Way natures work. You already know the vibes. Max HP investment just for general bulk. And then we do have a lower special defense stat. I wanted to buff that up just a little bit. Weather Ball in the rain. Great. Goes very nicely into a lot of her team. If they resist it, they don't really like a hurricane in the rain. Tailwind is nice in case we get into a position where something like a Banded Low Kick says like just clean. Give me 2-3 turns with this thing and we're good to go there. Being able to just get those banded knockoffs faster than the Tornadus, the Mousehold, the Flygon, things like that. Being able to set up some sort of a counter for, you know, if there is like a Scarf Flygon, or if Flygon has been dragon dancing all over my grave and I need to have the Rain and the Tailwind up for Swift Swim Qwilfish to have quadruple speed, so be it. We do have one more Mon in the bag that could also benefit from a Tailwind as well. Just kind of a good, another move on there. It lost access to Defog, right? Yes, it lost access to Defog. Could have been Roost here, but the idea is that a Focus Sash, we always live one hit. We do have a very reliable form of hazard removal. We can always switch this thing in once against a Titan.
I'm really wondering what would have, like, O-code Pelipper to the point where he felt he needed to run Sash. Like, maybe Stone Edge? Maybe? But I don't think Stone Edge O-codes, especially not with 100 in defense. So that was my, like, question about it, because obviously he's not going to lead Pelipper into my team. But that, like, Sash confused me here. Sash for sure confused me on Pelipper. Because like I said, I don't know. Like he said, unless Flygon just goes absolutely sicko mode and was like Dragon Dance to the moon and back, not a lot on my team can OHKO a Pelipper from full, you know? So I digress.
To turn off the snow, we outspeed the admin form, or we just switch out into something else, predicting it to, you know, go for whatever we may want to there. U-turn is great for the pivoting. If we are able to bring this in against something like an Excadrill, something like a Flygon, we can always go for a U-turn out on there, get a little bit of a slow turn off, and go
yes,
into ability.
sir.
We have Nasty Plot recover.
Then we have Gholdengo.
Shadow Ball and make it rain. 136 EVs in HP, 148 in special attack, 224 in speed with the tip in nature. With this spread, we are out speeding here. Jolly or Timid Hoopa Unbound if she decides to bring in her, if she wants to run that. Again, against a low kicks, I think Hoopa Unbound really stays at home and like makes dinner. Like I think it just waits for them to come back to the locker room at the end of the game. But in case it does, I did want to Mon that specifically, outsped it alongside low kicks. 148 in special attack at +2 is when things like Shadow Ball and Make It Rain are able to absolutely break, especially with some hazards up. We've got Recover for the longevity. We've got Nasty Plot in order to set up. We are running the Air Balloon if Excadrill is something like a Scarf variant in order to outpace something like Ribombee, something like 𝚑𝚘𝚅. We do want to make sure that we've got the Air Balloon up so we can switch into the Earthquake. We are a Ghost type, so they cannot Rapid Spin on us. So we just kind of put it in check for a minute. Obviously, if she makes a read and goes for an Iron Head and is not choice locked, you got me at that point. But I did want an opportunity to really switch in once on an Earthquake if it...
Oops. So yeah, that's his overall team builder. That's the overall thought. So those are the 6 he brought into me. So battle starts.
Well, I'll see you at team preview. All right. So
this was what I brought. I brought Sylvie, Milo, Excadrill, Skeledirge, Torrentee, and Hisuian Decidueye. I am Terra Water on big Skeledirge. So I was kind of anticipating Rain Team. I don't think he would have wanted to give Sun Team to Terra Skeledirge. So that was just kind of my overall thought process. Obviously, my initial thought process was Milo loves Rain. Why not help Milo? You know, I felt like Milo was a non-negotiable. Sylvie, like, although he does have Gholdengo and a few other Mons, like, not a lot of things on his team genuinely want to take a Pixelate Hyper Voice. And Sylvie's so fat that even if it doesn't OHKO him on, it's still going to be able to take a hit and deal, like, solid damage back, you know? Excadrill, obviously, for your rocks and your rapid spin. Dirge, we already said. Torn is basically just there to do Torn things. I'm not gonna lie to you. We had Bleak Windstorm. I don't even remember what all I had on this thing. He's just there to do Torn things. Take that as you will. And then I know we had triple arrows. I think close combat, Leaf Blade, U-turn, if I'm not mistaken, on Decky. Obviously, a lot of dark types, a lot of steel, a lot of stuff that doesn't want to take close combat. So it was there to basically be a defensive pivot. And do Unga Bunga damage. That was just the thought process, but Terra is water on Skeledirge. He decides to lead Raging Bolt just because Raging Bolt is a really good lead into a lot of what I had. Original plan for me was to lead Skeledirge on the off chance that he had Ribombee or if he wanted to start potentially stacking on like anything else. The plan was going to be then to Terra Water immediately, and then literally just start stacking Torch Songs, because it would at least give me a guarantee 1. And then depending on what he has, obviously I had Will-O-Wisp to be able to Hex with the like special attack boost that I already would have had. So the goal was just to try to start steamrolling early and just play hyper offensive, because my Skeledirge was just so fat that really it would have taken a solid bit to be able to break it. And at least at that point, it would have done so much that the rest of the team could have not easily handled it, but at least been able to pick up the slack where Skeledirge left off, because he would have like done his job at that point. You know what I mean? So that was the original plan going into this. So
we see she's got the Sylveon.
Seeing Raging Bolt on the enemy team as the lead was about worst case scenario. Like that was like, ooh, of everyone, why you know?
I do think it's a good lead, like into about 5 out of 6 Vermons.
I lied. I didn't have Hex on it. Hex was weak too. I had Shadow Ball on Skeledirge. I had Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Ball, Torch Song, and Slack Off.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I also, she did mention it's been since Skeledirge. Okay, perfect. She did mention that it has been since Generation 6 that she has not played Draft League. So consider this a soft launch. I know in the team build I may have said it was debut, but soft launch at the re-debut here. I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt. I'm just going to attack what's in front of me. If Skeledirge wants to come in, so be it. Or Skeledirge, if 𝗟𝗔𝗓 wants to come in, so be it. I'm just going to go ahead and click the Thunderbolt. I want to assume this has Unaware. Withdraws. Okay, that's totally fine.
Hi, John.
Totally fine. Sylveon comes in. Great, actually.
Thought with Sylvie was I was anticipating, like, I had two like choices of thought here, right? I could either have him like go for the full para set with Raging Bolt, or he had the option to play a little more offensive, like differently, and go for the Draco. I knew that Sylvie was gonna take what it did no matter what. So in my head, I knew Sylvie was gonna be able to do that, and it would 100% either let me try words again. It would either scare out Raging Bolt, right? Because again, Hyper Voice Pixelate, not a fun time. Or we would be able to just get massive damage off. And obviously, I don't want Raging Bolt on the field. That's it. I'm gonna be honest, chat. I didn't want it. So at the very least, I knew even if I didn't preserve Sylveon, I wasn't like reliant on Sylveon. So
that took 25%.
About what I expected.
So the good news here is that Heavy Slam is going to do quite a bit. So I'm going to go for a Heavy Slam here and just take some chip where I can.
Did not see Heavy Slam coming. Heavy Slam shocked me to my core. Because I was like, what is he going to do? The same thing?
That looks to be
what is he going to do?
More specially
Switch?
Defensive. Oh, yeah. Let's get some damage here. There's the Hyper Voice. That's going to bring me down to 215. Yeah. That's a very defensive Sylveon there. I'll go for another one. It'll get damage across the board here, and I'll be able to put Sylveon
do this.
down.
That way it blocks. Or aside from chat, you guys can see the HP bars better.
I think the Heavy Slam tech came in clutch here. Because, yeah, Pixelate Sylveon, I mean, just kind of, against my 6, just kind of goes in a little bit.
Yeah.
Golden Go is the check there. Which is fine. You know, Golden Go is fine Pokemon, but I definitely wanted something like this to be able to catch her off guard. Okay, Sylveon switches. It's at about 40% or so.
Obviously, we go Excadrill.
Okay, perfect. And it is Mold Breaker Drill. Okay, that's not too bad.
Because, again, what was I going to do? Heavy Slam me? Thunderbolt me? Thunderclap me? So, it felt safe.
You are also leftovers. Okay. So it can switch up. So that was good information to have. I didn't want to go for a Thunderbolt and, like, swap it around or anything, you know? I really did want an opportunity to... make sure that I could, like, gauge damage, and the fact that it is leftovers helps me figure out that it's not Scarf at the end of the day. So I like that. I'm going to keep Raging Bolt around. We're going to go out into our Pelipper here. We're going to set the rain with some Big Milk. She might just go for stealth.
That is fair, Ben. I don't even remember having Protect. I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember having it.
Stealth Rock's making the prediction. She could go for the Earthquake. Either way, I think it's a pretty safe play. Goes for Stealth Rocks. Okay, that's completely fine by me.
Safe play. Smart play.
I think U-turn's fine. Alternatively, I could Hurricane to try to catch the Milotic on the switch in.
And at this point, right, chat, I'm looking at this Pelipper. And I'm looking at this Rain. And I'm looking at my Choice Specs Milotic in the back. And I said, oh, isn't that so interesting? Thank you for donating to charity. The charity being me, because I'm just a girl. Yeah, you could have multiples of the same items.
I do want to... Actually, I think U-turn's a fine play. I think U-turn's fine.
I actually have 3 leftovers. Sylvie's leftovers, Dirge's lefties, and Excadriller lefties.
Let's go for the U-turn. I don't think she stays in. If she does, goes for a rock move, maybe. Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Iron Head, Rapid Spin, maybe? I can see. She does the draw. Okay, so we'll be able to get a U-turn up. I do want to spin these rocks away just so I can keep my Sash intact with Pelipper. In comes the Milotic. Perfect.
Perfect, he says. What an icon.
I'm going to go into Raging Bolt, and then I think I want to switch into Great Tusk afterwards.
So, this is what you guys will realize. I am really bad about greeting with Milo. And I've been bad about greeting with Milo since Gen 6. And I'm aware that that is a personal flaw that I need to work on. I was not scared of this Raging Bolt because A, I was choiced. B, Rain was up. C, I knew if it stayed in, it was going to take an Ice Beam. B, if it switched, nothing wanted to take an Ice Beam. Hi, Helios. But Milo fears nothing. I was genuinely not scared about this Raging Bolt once, and I never once considered switching. And that was just not his train of thought at all. I feel like most people probably would have flip turned here and been like, gotta go, sorry. And I was like, F it, we ball. Ice Beam. Hell yeah.
Because we don't see any item on this thing.
I said I'm choice Milo in the rain. What do I have to lose?
So I'm going to go hard into Great Tusk. I don't think there's a world where you stay in. I've got a lot of speed on this. Milotic uninvested is like 198. You need to run a lot of speed to outpace me. So I'm going to switch first. The Ice Beam is crazy. The Ice Beam is crazy because that happened to me in Mox. And I'm like, there's no way Milotic stays in.
So I wonder, hey, so that's so crazy. Helios, was that you? Was that you who did that? Yeah, was that you? That's so interesting. That's so interesting, Helios on Twitch. Yeah, no, I 100% knew that I lived that Thunderbolt, which was the thing too. So I was like, oh no. I either do crazy damage to Raging Bolt probably die. I take it. I think I had recover on this thing anyway, so I had a passive way to heal it if I really wanted to and just stall. But yeah. I knew I lived it, so I said, oh well.
I was like, there's no way it stays in. There's no way. There's no way. Okay, so you're...
And this is where I felt really bad, and I said, uh-oh. Watching his POV, I said, uh-oh. And then I said, he's gonna hate my guts. He's gonna hate me.
Not Flame Orb. I'm upset that I lost my Great Tusk.
I was not Flame Orb.
I lost my Flame Orb, or she hasn't shown Flame Orb.
Nope. I didn't need
the
it.
Terra Dark knockoff. We're not in Terra Dark knockoff range yet. I still can't believe.
I needed it against Stack, but
I still can't believe that
with
happened.
the rest of his team, I didn't need it.
I can't believe that happened. All right. Float in the air with air balloon. I think a Shadow Ball is fine.
So at this point, I said, okay, so Great Tusk being gone is massive, right? That was like big threat number 2. Raging Bolt already chip. Biggest threat on the field after that being low kicks, right? We know it's air balloon. Since I'm choiced, right, I can only click Ice Beam. I just pop air balloon, and then as long as I have something to do with Pelipper, this like basically sets everything up for Excadrill to just be able to click funny button in like 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So either I pop air balloon or he doubles again and something else takes an Ice Beam, but like Pelipper doesn't want to take that. Bolt doesn't want to take that. Quillfish probably doesn't want to take that. It is Eviolite, but you know, and even Gholdengo, it's like the chance to freeze is not fun. So this was really just to be like, yo, let's let Excadrill go funny mode.
Maybe this thing is Assault Vest. Maybe that's why I wanted to stay in.
No, I just greed. I greed with Milo. I love Milo. I would first pick Milo. And I don't care how much people would say it's a
Maybe
throw.
you did.
I would first pick Milo.
Shadow Ball should do about 25%. Yeah, okay. There's the Ice Beam again. Okay.
Fat. PHAT.
246. So what was I at? I was at 88. 307, 246. That did about 18% to me.
And this is when it hit him.
Are you?
Let him cook.
Are you Specs my...
That man is in disbelief and awe. That frame of his face is like, what the fuck?
Is that why that did so much? Let's
man is
recover here. I want
befuddled.
this to be able to sit in front of the Milotic. Yeah.
Befuddled.
Let's recover here.
I love Chase. I love Chase so much. Chase is my goat. And I said, air balloon pop.
All right, Rain ran away as well.
And at this point, I say, oh no, Rain gone. Rest of team need Rain. So Gholdengo, very fast. Pelipper, not like rocks. Low kicks, not really like rocks. So, at very least, I get speed drop on something that either desperately needs speed or does not want to get hit by rock. You know? Safe play.
Let's go on ahead and swap back.
Because I still have my stealth rocks up, you know? No one wants to take stealth rock on top of other rock.
We can threaten something like Excadrill with a weather ball with Pelipper. I feel like I had like the meme where it's gamer stance where you're leaning backwards and all of a sudden you lean up front when like was that Specs Milotic? It was so much damage.
That comment set me into orbit, by the way. That was so funny.
On Gholdengo.
And I said, oh, goody!
Tomb, good
Rain!
Play, good play.
And I said, well, here's the situation. He already showed Weather Ball. So if he stays in, he might Weather Ball again on the hopes that I just greed and I try to kill with Excadrill. Or Milo comes in and takes another Weather Ball. Or he stays in and goes for any other move that, like, Milo's still going to be able to take and, if not, recover. He only showed U-turn? I thought he showed Weather Ball at that point. Either way, I really knew there wasn't anything this Pelipper was going to be able to do to, like, super hurt. Oh, Sorry, I just got a cramp in my leg. I've watched this battle back so many times that like I forget because I've watched so many people POV of like reacting to our battle. He didn't show weather. Okay, so he didn't show weather. Sorry, my mistake. Either way, I knew *𝚘𝚘 wasn't going to be able to hurt me. End of story. Like, *𝚘𝚘 does not hurt a Milo. You know what I mean? So, it was free. You know? This is what happens when you watch your own battle too many times.
Oh, withdraws. Goes back down to that Milotic.
I said, Ren! There's the weather ball.
Okay. That is fine by me.
*𝚘𝚘 hurt Milo but hurt others. Yeah, but I don't know. I felt okay, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I never was in a position where I felt fully scared. Is the thing. Because Milo was so fat, and in every single mock, it took everything from people really well. Obviously low kicks was a threat. Obviously everything else was there. But at that point in my head, Milo had done its job. Helps Milo not hurt. No. I basically meant like it sets up everything else to hurt more was kind of the way I was reading your message. But yeah, Milo had done its job for me at that point because all I wanted was chip on so much of the rest of his team and to just be able to sit there. So then that way I had a full team of people who were basically full HP that were like actually the hard counters to what everyone else wanted to do. And I still had my Terra and I still had everything else. Considering the fact that I was water dirge with the potential for rain, I was like, well, this worked out very well, you know? So I was like, I think I'm okay. And that scares me, but I think I'm okay.
With the rocks up, I'm going to keep getting chipped on Raging Bolt. I want to keep that healthy for the Tornadus Therian in the back. I'm going to go for a Hurricane here.
And I said, choice spec surf in the rain? Yeah. Nobody wants to take it. Not a soul wants to take choice spec surf in the rain.
Putting an insane amount of work this game.
Hi, Waffy. Hi, Ryan.
Okay. Now is when I go on a Raging Bolt. Because I think your specs based on the way you're playing this. I think your specs based on the way you're playing this. So it's at the point now, like surf to Raging Bolt in the rain.
Does a lot of damage. I think it O-code from that range,
like, surf
did it not?
should never be the play here, I think. I'm going to go out
I think it did.
I'm going to go out into low kicks here. I feel like surf should never be the play.
I mean, either way, though. I don't think I had flip turn on this build. Maybe I did, and I just never clicked it. That is a possibility. I can't remember my own build. Hi, Raven. Thank you for the 35 months. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I did. I just never clicked it. I don't know. Even flip turn in the rain from a Milo would have done so much damage to low kicks. Like, if that's what he was scouting for, like, anticipating the fact that I was gonna flip turn, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to lose the game because I keep disrespecting this Milotic.
Like, that play shook me to my core. I just sat there with my jaw open. I was like, wait. What? 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 It dies to everything now. He overthought it. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing about Chase, though, is Chase is really good. Like, genuinely. The difference between Chase and I in this entire battle was Chase was thinking 10 steps ahead constantly. How did the border get brought back up? I literally turned this off. How did... Wait, hold on. What? I turned this off. How did that turn back on? I digress. But no, Chase is very, very good about thinking, like, I'm playing checkers, he's playing 3D chess, is really what it is. So he's thinking like 3 steps into the future of like, she's gonna flip turn, and then if she flip turns, then this is gonna happen, and that's gonna blah blah blah. My brain was choice Marlowe and rain, click funny button, bing. And so I think that was just the big difference in our battling. And, like, it really sucks for Chase, and I feel really bad because him trying to play smart and, like, literally in every sense of the way, being the better battler worked to his demise. And, like, that's what made me really sad about, like, watching this back, as I was like, man, like, those are the plays I, like, probably on paper to most people, like, quote-unquote, should have done, but I didn't. And because I said funny button Milo and Rain, it did way more than I ever anticipated it would have, you know? But like, even in the like team builder, he's like, and then this is gonna happen, and this and this and this and this and this, and I'm like, wow. Like, had I battled the way he anticipated that I would battle, I don't know if I would have won. Like, the fact that Terra Dark low kicks could one-shot Sylveon after rocks, a little crazy. Little nutty. Little scary, actually. But, yeah, like, I think his team had so much potential. It was just totally the way that, like, he and I thought about the battle in, like, that situation so differently. Because in my mind, like I said, I was just never scared. Because I was like, if Milo dies, Milo dies. Milo's already done more than I wanted it to, you know? So, props to him. Because he was thinking of plays that weren't even crossing my mind.
All right. All right.
We do have Swift Swim Quillfish, though, which is very scary in the rain.
All right. I've had enough. I've had enough. I have had enough.
I love Seabad.
I gotta go for a gunk shot. Milotic Absolute Demon.
Was kind of shocked that killed. Like, should I be shocked? Not really, because Quillfish does do a lot of damage, but I was like, damn, I was bulky. Part of me was like,
Absolute
did I live
Demon
that?
and the rain stops.
If he would have missed Gunk, I think I would have just, like, stopped the battle, like, killed the timer all the way down to 5 seconds, and just been apologizing in his DMs. Like, I don't think I would have been able to live with myself. I don't think I would have been able to face him. Like, I have so much respect in the world for Chase. Like, he's so nice. And I already felt bad because, like, and this is my own imposter syndrome in my brain, right? I was like, nobody goes into, like, this league expecting me to win. Like, that's just really, like, on paper what it is. Like, I haven't done a draft league since Gen 6. Not to be that person, but, like, I am a girl, right? A, not a lot of girls do competitive. B, not a lot of girls do draft. And they just have way more experience than I do. Like, everyone's done way more leagues. Everyone's done way more draft. Like, just is way more familiar with these mons too, because you have to keep in mind, chat, a thing that's really messing with me personally, which is why I feel like I have to do so many mocks right now, is I'm so used to randomizer Nuzlocks. I'm so used to hardcore shenanigans. I'm so used to then we fights, where 9 times out of 10, you're fighting with a mon that's illegal in some capacity, right? So a lot of times, I don't know what mons actually get anymore, which is a really weird mental space to be in. So a lot of times in mocks, I'm like, oh, that's really sick to find out that that mon can do that right now. So it's very hard in that sense as well, because like I am just genuinely like in every sense of the word like playing from behind. I got you with the hydrate, Kate. So I'm having to learn really fast on the fly. So if that would have been the case of Milo sweeping and him missing gunk shot in that situation, I would have been like, I don't deserve this. I don't. Like, do you want the elo? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it maybe would have been different if I wasn't, like, as close friends with Chase as I am. Because, like I said, I've known him for years. And, like, he's the GOAT. I have so much respect for him. And it would have felt, like, disrespectful for me to do that with a Milo. You know? Like, yeah. That's the position I'm in. I think you have one of the stronger teams in draft. The thing with my team is that everyone either likes my team or they hate my team, and there's really not much like wiggle room in between, because I have a totally different play style than what a lot of other people do. And so I drafted Mons that like I'm really comfortable with because I either played with them on my draft team in Gen 6 or they just play into the way that I do my battles. And obviously I don't want to like fully spell out like this is what I do, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it's just very different compared to a lot of people's. Like, I personally like my team, and that's the thing about me versus Vandy, because Vandy's my boyfriend, right? Like, I would never in a million years, and I mean this with all the love, genuinely, like, I would never draft any of the Mons that he drafted. And that's the interesting thing about draft, right? Is he loves those Mons. He went out of his way to pick those Mons. I would never draft a single Mon on his team, you know? So, I like my team. I think my team's great. I think my team's very annoying, right? And like, that just makes it hard to deal with. But I don't know. I like it. It's just like I said, my team's such a double-edged sword because people either like respect the bulky defense with like a pretty strong offense. You know, like they take hits, but they also hit back pretty hard. Or people are like, ew, that's so gross. You look at her. She's so gross. You know what I mean? Also, hi, Jiggly. How are you doing? Yeah, it's also hard to remember what hits what in the scene. Like, Mons that had moves before no longer have the move, so then I'm predicting a move that it no longer gets, or it got access to a move that I didn't know it got access to. There's just so many layers from being out of the draft scene and being used to illegal sets for as long as I've been used to illegal sets. Like, that is probably my biggest hindrance right now. Genuinely. Like, that is where I'm struggling in this league probably the most, which is why I'm like, who wants to do mocks? Anyone want to do mocks right now? What if we did a mock? You know?
Great.
I'm like, back me into a corner. Please. Make me figure out how to get out of it.
Because I believe everything that I had that was faster than an Excadrill is dead. And this Milotic, like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I feel like she threw it away there if I went for the Thunderbolt, right?
But I didn't care. I did not care.
Yeah, Thunderbolt did 55 to this thing.
And that's fine.
I feel like Excadrill was always just a great play into it, you know? Excadrill comes in. I have nothing left that wants to take a hit because Milotic killed Great Tusk and everything else that I've ever loved.
I want you to know when I heard that the first time, I paused the stream and I literally sat there like this. I sat there like this. I felt so bad. Guys, my guilt complex is too bad. It's so bad. Milotic killed me and everything else I've ever loved. I was like, no, Jace, no.
I have to hope you're not max speed and just go for liquidation. But Excadrill just click. Oh my god, please. It doesn't, but it's okay.
EQ go crazy.
It doesn't, but it's okay. which means Golden Ghost should be faster.
Big lefties moment.
So there's a world. Maybe. There's maybe a world. There's maybe a world.
These turns put him on a roller coaster. Like, if he wasn't on one enough, like, man had such whiplash after this battle. you know?
Maybe. I'm so mad about this 𝗏𝗏. Good for her. I'm so pissed.
That's, like, this is why I love Chase. I love Chase so much because, like, he's crashing the fuck out right now. Man is crashing out so hard. He feels backed into a corner. Things are happening that never should have happened. And he's still like, good for her. You know what I mean? But I'm pissed. That's why Chase is such a good sport, guys. This is such a 𝚑𝚑𝚘 safe household. Like I said, if any of you ever say a bad word about 𝚑𝚑𝚘 in your life to me, you are dead. You are cooked. You are toast to me.
All right, please. Oh my God.
Fat.
Oh my God.
Damage.
That's game. That's game. That's 5-0 to Lins.
PHA2. Fat.
That is 5-0 to Lins. That is so crazy. I was so... Wow. Good for her. I thought I had it. Yup. Can I be faster than you? Is there a world? Is there a world, please?
There is actually a world. It 100% came down to investments. And I put nothing in speed.
Please, Bueller? I might actually be.
I had a 50-50 shot. I had a 50-50 shot.
I don't think so, but I might be. I could be. Oh my God.
And I lost the 50-50.
I was waiting for it to live. I was waiting for it to live right there.
If that would have lived, I don't think I could face him. I would have to hide from him at Atlanta Regionals and be like, hey, how y'all doing?
All right. Raging Bolt, bring it home for me. I have no damage on anything, no hazards, no hopes, no dreams, no nothing.
But you did have the ability to clap.
All right, 𝗏𝗏𝚘𝚔 comes in. Thunderbolt into full para is always my play. It is not. Do I live a Shadow Ball? I do.
He's so fat.
My special defense drops.
Fattest Raging Bolt in the world goes to this guy.
Thunderbolt into full para is my play again. There it is. The Dirge bringing it home. Incredible. GG's to Lins, man. She hasn't played since Gen 6. Hasn't missed a beat. Hell of a week 1 opener. I got to assume that's 𝗏𝗏𝚘𝚔. I got to find this out after the match because that was an impressive showcase from really that Pokemon. I had no idea, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you guys have, show some love.
That AV, no, for real. That AV went nuts. Honestly, one of the smartest things he could have run, though, to be honest with you. Sorry, I'm responding to manager stuff real quick. hold on, chat. Okay. Okay, we're back. And Twitch is back from their ads, so it works out. But hi, Mason. I hope you're having a great day. Hello, hello. So for anyone who is curious, let me pull up the pokey paste. Okay. Hello? Hello? Okay. So this was the pokey paste of my team for anyone who... There we go. Let me move myself really quick. So this was the build. This was the team. So like I said, I was choice specs Milo. I was competitive. We had 248 in HP, 8 in defense, 252 in special attack. I was modest, which is also why it did so much. I was modest Milo with choice specs. Surf, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, and Flip Turn. Forgot I even had Flip Turn. Never considered clicking it. Some people say it was great. Some people say, how she not click Flip Turn? I don't know. Whatever boat you fall into, that's what I had. Torrentee was there with Rocky Helmet. I was Regenerator as well. Obviously. I had 216 in HP, 4 in defense, 120 in special attack, and 168 in speed. With a timid nature. Oh, I'll explain the last part. Don't worry. I protect Bleak Wind Storm, Knockoff, and U-Turn. Skeledirge was Terra Water, like I said, just so we could take full advantage of the rain and not be hindered by it. We were leftovers with Torch Song, Shadow Ball, Slack Off, and Will-O-Wisp. We were basically just there to be fat and take hits and be able to stack if we needed to. So 252 in HP, 104 in defense, 4 in special attack, and 148 in special defense. Excadrill was leftovers, as you guys saw. Mold Breaker with Here's the thing, guys. This was just fat Excadrill. That's really what it was. It was 116 in HP, 52 in attack, 88 in defense, and 252 in special defense, which was also why we lived the Shadow Ball. I was personally surprised that I was able to revenge kill Gholdengo, but what do I know? Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Rock Tomb, and Rapid Spin. Hisuian Decidueye, who never got to hit the field, was AV. We had Scrappy, just so then that way if we needed to hit Gholdengo, we could. 248 in HP, 16 in attack, 76 in defense, 24 in special attack, and 144 in special defense. We were sassy with Triple Arrows, Leaf Storm, Knockoff, and Sucker Punch. And then last but not least, I did have Sylveon, holding the leftovers as well, as you guys saw. Unfortunately, I felt bad. I ran more items than leftovers, but the only mons who hit the field had leftovers, basically. 252 in HP, 4 in special attack, and 252 in special defense. The reason there's not a fourth move was because when I was practicing in Showdown, I couldn't figure out how to, like, play against other people in draft format. For some reason, I just couldn't find it. There was just so much, like, when Showdown pulls up all of the menus, there's just so many words on the screen, and I, like, just couldn't find it to save my life. So I was like, frick it, I'll just go into OU, right? At least it's battles against teams that I'm going to be put into different situations, right? In OU, you can't have Baton Pass. And so, because I did a lot of mocks in Showdown in OU, just against a whole bunch of, like, random people on ladder, right? I had to take Baton Pass off in order for me to be able to mock with Sylveon in Showdown. So Sylveon had Baton Pass in the actual battle, but it just doesn't have it on here because of the fact that I literally just took this straight from Showdown, you know? So that's what I had. So yeah, Torn never even touched the field. Torn never touched the field, and Decky never touched the field. Sylvie touched the field and was able to get off a Hyper Voice. But other than that, she really didn't make it, like, too insanely far, you know? week 2 battle goes up next, or like this upcoming Saturday, I guess it is now. So keep your eyes and ears out for that one. It's a very intimidating fight. The team that I faced has a nasty team. Nasty. About like the perfect counter to my team on paper. So it was a lot of prepping for that team. My team for that battle changed so many times. So many times. And 90% of my commentary that you're gonna hear me say for that battle is, guys, I can't do this. I'm so locked in, but I'm so nonverbal because I'm so tired. Because I did that battle the day after the PM7 24-hour shiny hunting event. And I stayed up all night mocking. And then in that morning I woke up, immediately mocked more, and then changed the team, never got to mock with the final team, and went into the battle. I think I was on 3 hours of sleep. I think that's what it was. So, be prepared for that. Like, that's half my commentary. I literally did my, like, team builder in post because I was like, there's no way for me to be like, hey, everyone, welcome to the battle. And now we're gonna do this. And we're gonna do a little bit of that. And we're gonna do a little bit of this. You know what I mean? So, I feel the team builder, little post, but just a little sleep deprived. Like, you know, who needs sleep? Who needs to battle with their final team before they actually hit the field? You know? At that point, I was just in such a, I don't want to say manic mode, but in just a, I've done everything I humanly possibly can at this point. F it. Like, you know? I literally said, I have nothing to lose. I have tried everything. I have mocked. I have changed this team 8 million times. There's nothing more I can do to prep for this. Let's just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Great. Like, there was definitely a mindset going into it, though. So I still explain, like, my thought process. I still have one of my favorite plays I've done all season in next week's battle. It's so silly. So one of my favorite plays I've ever done in any battle ever is in next week's battle. And there was definitely, like I said, a plan going into it. So it's not like I was just like, oh, good luck, have fun. Yippee. So you'll have to see. You'll have to see. It's a very, very silly battle. Very, I don't even know. I haven't watched the battle back, but I would say it's definitely longer. Like, everything about it's longer. My ability to pick moves took way longer. My opponent took way longer to pick their moves, and because they took so long to pick their moves, then I started gaslighting myself, and so there's a lot of gaslighting in the video of me being like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Because then I was second guessed everything I did, and then I was like, wait, was the smart play actually XYZ? And I kid you not, guys, the little hamster spinning on a wheel in my head had, like, smoke coming out of its ears because of how fast it was spinning on that wheel. Is it Nexus? I will not confirm nor deny. Nexus is a very good friend of mine, though. And I do hope that I get to battle him this season because I love Nexus. Nexus is my goat. There's so many people I'm friends with in this, which is really fun. How much ahead of time do you record these things? So it's kind of up to your own personal schedule. So I actually did my battle with Seabad and my battle next week within 4 days of each other. That was very ahead of schedule. So we had to have our week 1 battle done and our, like, obviously our team builder videos up by, like, Saturday. So in theory, right, you have it done like about a week before the video goes out. The person I battled week 2 I don't know what they had going on in their personal life, and I didn't really want to ask either. But they like wanted to battle really early, and I was like, yo, whatever works for you, I'm gonna make it happen because I would rather you like not have to worry about it. And I'm such a people pleaser that he's like, what about Saturday on like insert day here? And I was like, oh, the day after the PM7 24-hour shiny hunting event? Yeah, let's do it, you know? Because I such a people pleaser that I was like, yeah, that sounds great. So I did it on 3 hours of sleep. Like I said, didn't even do a mock with the final team I went in with. So 3 hours of sleep, and I said, F it, we ball. That's week 2. And half my commentary is, guys, I'm so tired, I can't do this. Guys, I'm so tired, I can't do this. What if everything's wrong? What if everything's right? I don't know anymore. Everything is just exploding, and hamster on wheel has smoke coming out of its ears. Hi, Uzi! How are we doing? Guys, if you guys are on YouTube, you guys should go follow Uzi. He's one of the battlers. One of the draft league goats to ever do it, by the way, chat. So, if you guys want to see some insanely good draft content, you guys should absolutely follow Uzi if you are not already. But I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I didn't expect that to happen. 100%. Like I said, I am probably just one of the few people in this world that that would have a Milo out and not fear Raging Bolt, but I just never thought to switch. Ever. I said, I did the mocks. I know I'd take this. F it, we ball. Where's your dog? In my house. He's hanging out down over there. He doesn't hang out in my office. He is like a people person, so he would rather be where everyone else is than like locked in office. I never watched draft content until you and Vandy jumped into it. Draft is really fun. Draft is really fun. I did it in Gen 6, but it was not on this caliber at all. Definitely not against pros. Definitely not against people who have been doing this for like years. They were still against like really, really good battlers. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I ended up getting 3rd overall in the league, something like that. I know I was top 3 if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, I drafted a lot of the same mons, unironically. I think in Gen 6, my team literally was Hoopa Unbound, Volcarona, Megalop, Torrentee, Weavile, Milo, Serp, some other ragtag team of misfits that my brain can't remember. But I know I had those 7. So it was a very good team for Gen 6. That was a crazy team for Gen 6 meta. But yeah, I think I got 3rd overall back then. So very like getting used to it again. You know what I mean? But it's really fun. It makes you think about Pokemon very differently. And it's just very interesting to see how people build things differently than other people do. Like Vandy's fighting someone else this week. And when I was doing a mock against him, just because my battling style is so different than his, you can either run hyper offense with this mon, or you can just run the fattest stall you have ever stalled in your life. And sometimes when you do crazy things like that with a mon, they just don't expect it, you know? So like me running what would be in a very aggressively hyper offensive mon a totally different way, he just like did not know how to prep with it, and that really messed him up, you know? Glad you like my work. I have heard the rumors, the lore, like everything about how nasty of a battler you are in like a positive way, right? Like the fact that you are just able to do crazy things with mons and just go kablamo on people. So mad respect. I was talking earlier, my biggest like issue with draft right now is the fact that I come from the live streaming scene, not like video creation scene. And because of that, I was like a part of Then We Fight or hardcore Nuzlocke or randomizer Nuzlocke and stuff like that. So me learning like what mons actually get versus like an illegal moveset that they get in all this kind of stuff, or illegal abilities and stuff like that, is definitely my biggest learning curve right now. Because I'm just so used to everything being random that I'm like, in Mox, I'm like, oh, so that's like really good to know that that Mon gets that like right now. I love that, actually. That's so fun. Honestly, shocked Hoopa wasn't the Terra Captain. Hoopa had the potential to be Terra Captain. The issue with Hoopa being Terra Captain was it was so expensive. And I didn't like the fact that I felt locked and I didn't have as much freedom with like other offensive things that I wanted to do. So, I don't know. It felt like very much so putting all my eggs in one basket. And I like a lot of versatility in being able to like flex around what people do more. And like I said, I felt like it locked me too much with Hoopa. So that was the reason why. It definitely made sense. And like when I was drafting in person with like Ben and Vandy, half of the draft we did on a boat in the middle of a lake on the 4th of July. That was really silly. But when I was drafting all this stuff, like obviously it was a discussion as to whether or not I wanted to do it. But when it came down to how many points it would have been and just like what I would have been left with, it didn't feel right with how I wanted to play the team. But like for someone else who's like super hyper aggressive offense, I'm sure they would have ate it up and like, you know, been totally cool with that, you know? I just didn't feel right for my battle style. It's just really all it was. But insane story with the staying up. Yeah, I mean, it was 100% self-inflicted. I didn't have to. I am just too big of a people pleaser to put other people at an inconvenience, and I would so much rather put myself at an inconvenience to make other people's lives easier than the opposite. And it's my toxic trait. It's a selfless trait, but it's like my worst enemy at times as well. You know, that's my thing. Because I could have said no. I could have asked to reschedule. I just didn't. I didn't. So that's me, myself, and I. Selflessness can be toxic to ourselves in certain situations. Yeah, it for sure definitely can be, you know? But I don't know. To me, it just felt right because like I'm the kind of person too where it's like I made a commitment and I don't want to be the person who backs out of a commitment that I chose to make. You know what I mean? So that's part of it too. It's something I'm learning to unlearn. Exactly. Because I'm like, well, then I don't want to be like come across as the person that, you know, like can't hold commitments and then is flaky and then is like, oh, you know, like last minute, like, no, like I too eepy, can't battle, no, you know what I mean? Like that would have made me feel gross and like worse than me just bawling out and being like, you know what? I did this to myself. We ride or die. Let's see what happens, you know? Are you proud of what you did? Like, am I proud of like my performance after doing an all-nighter? Like obviously I don't want to give away the battle itself. But the person I fought, A, has a nasty team. Disgusting. Like as in good. Their team is about as perfect of a counter you could have to my team. And I never won a single mock against it. Their team was, and is in general, just very good at backing my entire team into a corner and not really giving me any wiggle room to safely maneuver out of it. But I think given the fact that I was on as little sleep as I was, the fact that fun fact, I had so many PokePace open as well, between the amount of different builds that we have. I put the wrong set on one of my mons as well in my sleep deprived moment. So it's like half of one build and half of another build. That was another thing I did. So I think given all of the factors that happened, do I think if I were in a better state of mind and could think more clearly and didn't accidentally have like half of one build, half of another build, like I feel like I would be stupid to not say yes. I think there like would have been probably a difference, because like definitely watching the battle back, like the tiny bits that like I have watched back, especially when I showed the battle to like Ben and stuff like that, right? I was like, yeah, that in hindsight probably was not what I should have done there. But in my mind, that little hamster in my head was spinning so fast. And like I said, against that team that's so just high pressure against mine, it was very hard to figure out what was the right play, because I knew the 8 different counters that were probably coming to it. So picking the right one into the 8 counters was very hard. I think obviously I would have had the ability to make decisions faster, not second guess, and be able to think more clearly about everything had I, right? You know what I mean? But overall, I think given all of those circumstances, it went as good as it could have. You know, it's not like I look back on that battle and I'm like, wow, that was embarrassing. You know, because that's very much so what could have happened. Do I think it's my best battle I've ever done, where like, you know, like this Seabad battle where I'm like, wow, didn't see that coming, and Milo slayed the house boots down. You know what I mean? I don't think it was that. And I don't think, given the circumstances of the battle I was facing, that that would have been realistic no matter what. Right? But I think given how sleep deprived I was, given how much their team backs my team into a corner, given the fact that I never did an actual mock with the final team, and I had the wrong sets on one of my mons copy pasted, I'm content with how it stands at the end. So that's where I'm at, you know? So, like I said, I don't want to give too much, right? But that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. But yeah, that's the vibe. Overall, I am having a lot of fun with it. I don't know, like if Bubble comes back, I'll probably do it again. Joining other draft leagues where I'm not like as comfortable, I don't know if that's gonna be the like, I don't know. The issue is too is I have 3 jobs. So me finding the free time to do all of this is a little tough, especially going into ZA. But if I do continue to join draft leagues, I do want to either make a second channel for it, so then that way I feel like I can actually have it up on the channel and not hinder what I want to do for ZA, because I do have content planned for ZA and I don't want people to think that I'm transitioning to a draft channel right before ZA comes out. Which is part of the reason everything is members only. Otherwise, the other thing about it too is I didn't know how this season was going to go, and draft is very intimidating. Especially given the fact that, like, let's just call it as it is. A, I'm the only girl in the league. B, there's not a lot of girls who do draft in general, right? Others will be more mindful. I mean, he didn't know. To be fair, I want to make this so abundantly clear. He had no idea at all. I never communicated any of this to him. And that's 100% on me. And I don't want this to come across as like, he put me in an unfair spot. It was 100% self-inflicted. You know, I didn't have to stay up as long as I did mocking. You know, I did it because I felt it was the only way I was gonna have any level of a chance, so that way I didn't just absolutely get 6-0'd. So it was 100% self-inflicted. I communicated none of it to him. The only thing he knew after the battle was over was that I had the wrong set on one of my mons. Because I was like, hey, So guess what I did? And that put me in a bad spot. So I speak 0% bad about the person that I fought. They had no idea. They had no clue. This was like my personal demise that I took to my grave with me, and boy did I. So I don't want it to be like negative on them by any means. Because I didn't have to do anything I did. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to do, as long as I did it the PM7, like, world record thing, right? I didn't have to stay up all night mocking. I didn't have to change my team right before I went into the battle with it. But I said, well, I haven't won a mock yet. What else do I have to lose? You know? So that's just where it's at. So, like I said, I don't want it to be a situation where, I don't want to say he gets in trouble, but I guess gets blamed for, like, something he had no idea was even happening because I didn't communicate it and I chose to keep it to myself and, like, self-sabotage, you know? Because in my mind, it's not fair to self-sabotage myself and then have people be like, oh, that was just unfair battling conditions to you. Like, that's kind of fucked up that he made you do that, you know? So, again, I'm a pathological people pleaser, and that's me. That's me, myself, and I. I don't remember what I was originally talking about. Oh, that's what it was. So yeah, I have really cool draft content that I really want to, not draft. I have really cool ZA content that I want to do on the channel right before, like, ZA drops and, like, when the new battling system comes out. So depending on how those videos end up working, I might be able to integrate draft into the actual channel itself. I was just very nervous about people being like, oh my god, this is not the channel we sub to. Why is she doing draft? And then losing a lot of, like, sub supports, people thinking the channel's turning something, like, into something it's not right before ZA. So that's part of the reason it's members only, but, like, as the only girl in draft, as, like, someone who hasn't done draft in a long time, and, like, the expectations for people who do draft, like, I don't want to say are, like, high, but there's just a different caliber of battling that is expected from people, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to reach that, and that was a very intimidating thing to go into, especially considering the very high caliber and experience of people who are in this league. You know, like, battling Ben, battling Uzi, battling Joey. But, like, I have watched Nexus do draft for longer than I've known Nexus as a friend. You know what I mean? Like, these people have years of experience on me. So I didn't want to fumble. And then, not that I think people would do this, but it's the really easy cop-out for people to be like, oh, you suck. You're, like, this is why girls shouldn't do draft. This is, like, because I've gotten that stuff before, and when you're already, like, in such a nervous mindset to even, like, poke your head out of the sand and be like, hey, not only am I a girl, but I did battle before. I like to battle again. I like mega meta coming back. What if I did it, you know? And I, like, my drafting of original Mons in Gen 6 and pulling Milo and doing what we did against CBAT, I didn't know that that was going to be something capable of happening. And in my head, I mentally prepared myself to fall on my face 10 times over. And the pressure of the social repercussions that could have happened from that was very intimidating. And so I figured, like, protecting, like, I don't want to say protecting myself, but, like, making it so that way people who I know are, like, my core supporters could see it made me feel less fearful of toxic people who don't know me profiling me and, like, leaving the comments of, like, oh, you suck, this is why you shouldn't have done it, this is why you shouldn't have come back, like, I don't know why you thought you could win this, like, go back to Gen 6, clearly you're out of date. You know what I mean? It's scary. And I've seen the comments from the Then We Fight scene alone, which was the last scene that I left. And I wanted it to be a peaceful dabble, get my feet wet, see where the chips fall, And if I feel comfortable with it, then sure, we go public in like bubble round 2. We either make a second channel, or with champions coming out and potentially what I want to end up doing with the channel, if ZA lets me do it and I'm just praying I can do what I want to do with the channel with it, then I could just integrate it right in. So I don't know. I'm very, very excited. I hope you can take solace in the community being as far less toxic than it used to be. Like, no, this group of people specifically are awesome. Diet specifically has reached out in DMs to Vandy and I like several times over the last 2 weeks, and is just like, hey, how are you doing? Like, how are you feeling now that you've gone into draft a little bit? How does, like, is it different? Like, how is like Gen 6 compared to this? Like, do you feel like you're up to date? Like, you know, like, he's just very kind and thoughtful, and has been like, how do you feel about your draft? Are you feeling okay about it so far? Do you have any concerns? And I'm like, you're just so nice, actually. But I've known Chase for years. I've known Nexus for years. Obviously, Vandy's my boyfriend and Ben is Vandy's roommate. So I literally hung out with both of them last night, you know? So like, even though I haven't met Boffin, I've known Boffin through like association for a long time too. So, and I've heard nothing but praise from Joey and like basically everyone else in this entire league. So with the fact that everyone's as experienced as they are, it's been really nice to not feel intimidated to talk to anyone. And also know that, like, especially when I'm watching like the battles back, because I know Joey does watch parties, Nexus does watch parties. There's a bunch of community members who do watch parties too. Like, nobody's toxic about it, which is really nice too. Like, I know this next battle, because of the sleep deprive, you know, obviously there's gonna be plays where people are like, now why did she do that? The play was this. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know that now. I know that now that I've had 7.5 hours of sleep, and I probably would have done that. But, like, the constructive criticism without being afraid of, like, people calling you stupid, or just, like, the looking down on, you know, like, just the tone that comes with it, you know, is nice, you know? Like, I feel like I can take constructive criticism from anyone here and have it not come off as toxic. And that's nice, especially given how experienced people are. So it makes me very happy that, like, on this level of, like, the pro scene, if you want to call it that, that people are as kind and welcome and open as they are, because it could very much so not be that. And there are several other communities where, like, that's not the case. So it is very cool to see that that actually is the case here, you know? You know? That's how I feel. That do be how I feel about it. Chat, I say we end stream now that I've yapped your guys' ears off, because I'm so good at yapping in your guys' ears. I won't be this next draft video. You guys are just gonna hear me be like, I don't even know anymore. I'm like, sorry guys, I've gone nonverbal. The hamster's spinning again. Let's do like a shiny hunt. Let's do a shiny hunt. The great thing about having ADHD, chat, is I can just yap myself into a circle and just talk to myself in a corner. Just nonstop. You know? Also, my advanced partner just tagged me. I would like to read. Oh. Yo, wait, that's so cool. Wait. Yo, I love my partner manager. I love my partner manager so much. He's so nice. Gotta go now, but I do want to let you know, both you and Vanny, if you ever need help with your battles, please don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Chat, once again, if you are not following 𝗬𝗎, please drop them a sub. They're over on YouTube, but if anyone would like the link over on Twitch, I'm sure the mods can grab it for you guys. Obviously, they're here, super kind, very supportive. You're seeing the messages, you're seeing the support, and that's from one of the GOATs in the draft league. And so you guys should show them the support. I think you guys should show support. That's a lot of S's. To everyone in the league, because like I said, Chase is my GOAT. There's so many kind, awesome, very supportive people in this league, so you guys should support all the coaches. But since Uzi's here, all you gotta do is click on his name and click the sub button. It doesn't cause any harm to you, and you get to support a very kind person. You know? That's what I'm saying, chat. That's what I say. And therefore, kindness is spreading kindness to others. You know, chat? You know? Alrighty. Let's get us a shiny real quick. Good luck with the rest of your battles, though, Uzi. Good luck, good luck. And I will definitely reach out if I ever would like some feedback, thoughts, or concerns about just everything that is draft. So I appreciate it. I don't know what fell. That's what fell. Okay. Let's do a quick little shiny hunt, chat. And in the tone of mocks and everything else draft, Ben and I are mocking for like the first time this season. After my stream is over, and I told him I would go live early because man goes to bed way before I do. Can I just get to the top of this real quick? So I told him I would end stream early, which is partially why I'm live earlier. Just so in that way we have time to mock with his, sleep schedule that he has for work is the way I'll phrase it, I guess. I would say old man hours, but I would never say that to my bald friend, Ben. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. What are we hunting for? That's a great question. Let's find out. We have an Ursaring outbreak. We could do Ursaring if we want Gummy Bear. Magikarp is here if we want Golden Fish. Old man hours, old man job, old man hours. My bald brethren. We could do Mimikyu again if we wanted to. Hatena, I don't mind. Is there anyone else who's like noticeable and good? We could do Purple Slack-Off. I like how they're slack off and the move slack off, and they both sound like the exact same word. Pyroar is an option. Honestly, I'm gonna reset it. I'm gonna reset. Also, I think Latios comes out in Unite this week. I think it comes out on Thursday. And I'm not looking forward to it.
Winged Mikey says, been playing the fan game Pokemon Xenoverse, it's so good.
Yay! I love that for you. I love that for you so much. Xenoverse is a good one. I can't remember if I played that one or not. I know I've played Uranium. I'd be surprised if I haven't played Xenoverse, or at least a little bit of it. Whether or not I finished it, different story. But I might have. But I'm glad you're having a great time with it. Fan games can be really, really good. Like super duper good. Gligar could be cool. I can't wait for these Petalil to go away. There's really not like... Surely they have to give us like a good roll. Gligar mentioned. No, who would say that? Chat. No, like literally, who would say that? No, where I just and then no, chat, where's the Gligar? No, like literally, where did it go? Yo, chat. It's literally me versus Seabad, Flygon, and Dodrio right here, back to back. Back to back bangers. We did do Dodrio during Subathon. Not Subathon, the 24-hour PM7 event. I'm trying to find anything different. Frigibax is fine. Finizen's not awful. Why are all the boring ones here? Like, Flygon's so good, but we've already done it. I don't want to make you guys watch a shiny hunt we've already done. I'm being picky, but it's for the good cause, and the good cause is your guys' attention span. Can these 𝗵𝗚𝗃 just go? Can they leave? Anything not boring. We could do 𝗑𝗓𝗏. Like, chat, I think it's big 𝗑𝗓𝗏 gaming. Thoughts, concerns, questions for the group? That's the most entertaining one we've had. That's not a shiny we haven't hunted already, you know? 𝗑𝗓𝗏, a little guy? Okay, great. I'm glad you guys are on the same boat. I still wish Samurott looked cooler. Hisuian Samurott's still really cool, IMO, but it's like, I don't know. Shiny Hisuian Samurott, I wish was the real one. The shiny does go a little crazy. A little crazy. You don't expect it to turn into what it does, though, you know? I'm not gonna lie to you, though, Helios. You being the FO for the team I'm battling this week, after seeing your commentary about what happened with 𝚑𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 basically just mocking against me 24/7 with Helios in the front office. That's nuts. I'm like, what would Helios think I would do? What would Helios do? And how do I prevent them from thinking that that's what I'm gonna do? Also, what is... It's cucumber, right? After Thursday, I can help you with any mocks you may need. By the way, you're not facing any of my friends anymore. Oh, so he's not denying anything that I say. So chat. Therefore, by the permittive property, they're doing exactly what I'm planning. He's like, hey, yo, mock against me. It's the same as mocking against Linz, I swear. You want free practice? It'll be like fighting her all over again. Maynard, thank you for the 14 months, gamer. I appreciate you. What is... I like your team a lot. Regen mons are my thing. Oh, that's so interesting, isn't it? Are you dissing Samurott? No, I love Samurott. I was gassing Samurott up. Huh? Rice, drop, sandwich. I don't remember what water needs. I know the pickle cucumber recipe is like 3 different things of cucumber, but I think I'm running out of cucumber. That's not rice drop. Where doth be? Hey, I found it. We need... Oh, it's chili sauce. And I do have 1 salty, right? I think I should have literally 1. I miss Tangrowth so much because it was my favorite. Tangrowth is really silly. Tangrowth is very, very silly. How do I say what I want to say without openly saying what I want to say? I don't know if you saw the changes in the Discord, but I'm low-key looking forward to those. And the potential that could be from where we are. You hear that, loose language chat? You hear that? Hi, Hickey. That is a very fair question. actually Uzi was in here and we just did like literally an entire like hour and 40-minute segment talking about draft and like everything that is bubble. But so basically, I'm trying to do a different, how do I say this? I have a plan for the channel when 𝗑𝗍 comes out. Assuming that 𝗑𝗍 allows me to do the kind of videos that I want to do, because we have yet to get official confirmation based on the trailers. But if given the fact that 𝗑𝗍 gives me the free reign to do what I want to do video-wise, with the YouTube algorithm, basically, if you don't upload videos that are similar to what you plan to upload, it actually hurts the growth of those videos. And considering the fact that I've focused on being a live streamer for as long as I have been, whatever videos I drop are really important for like setting the tone of the YouTube algorithm and the potential success for the channel going forward when it comes to 𝗑𝗍 time, where I'm really trying to have the ball rolling and like set the pace for what I want that channel to actually be going forward from that point, I guess, if you will. So right now draft just doesn't have a really big like fit on the channel. And I didn't want me to start dropping draft videos after not doing like an actual video upload on the channel for a long time and having people think the channel's going a direction that it's not, and having people be like, oh wait, she's doing draft, I didn't sub to her for draft, I'm not interested in draft content, I want her content where it's more similar to XYZ, and then have people like unsub thinking my channel's going in a direction that it's not, and or having those draft videos hurt the growth and the potential for what I'm wanting the channel to actually be, if that kind of makes sense. And especially if I don't know if I'm going to join another draft league after Bubble. Like, I don't know if Bubble's going to do a season 2. I don't know where, like, all those chips for that are going to fall. I didn't want to, like, put all my eggs into one basket and then have me never do draft again either and have it hurt the potential of those videos. Another factor of it as well is I was very nervous to join draft again for the first time since Gen 6, and I think it's also very important to be conscious of the fact that not only am I a female and not a lot of females do draft, but the draft community is very intimidating, and I didn't know how I was going to perform. And the risk of underperforming when the expectations in that group, like the standard of those battlers, are very, very high. And with the fact that I haven't battled in so long, there is and was, not to say it's off the table, a very high chance of me not hitting that and having the social backlash be very, very intense. Because as someone who's done content and competitive content that I've unlisted on the channel, comment sections aren't kind, and comment sections, like, as much as people don't want to hear it because it sounds like a cop-out, comment sections when it comes to competitive stuff as a female are atrocious. And in order for me to, like, put myself in a place where I felt comfortable, being able to upload the content that I wanted to after Bubble's over when it comes into 𝗑𝗍, and be able to, like, test out doing draft while being able to not have to worry about everything blowing up in my face and having everyone tell me that I am either worthless, insert every single slur in the book, because I've already been called them in my previous content competitive stuff. It's tough, and obviously my showing my first week was really good and really awesome, but that wasn't a guarantee. So I think I don't want to say thankfully, because that makes it sound like I wish bad on 𝗑𝗍, and that's never the case. But I was put in a position where things worked out in my favor in that battle unintentionally, is the wording I guess I want to use. And I think that allowed people to look at me through a lens of respect. But like I said, that wasn't a guarantee going into it. So in order to like protect my mind, protect my space, protect my peace, as well as make sure that I wasn't biting the channel in the butt, that was just the smartest decision for me personally. Depending on how I feel about draft and my availability and everything like that going forward, after this league is over, especially because that would probably happen like way after ZA's release and stuff like that. If the channel starts to lean down a more competitive route again, I'll probably I'll probably unlist all of the draft league stuff and like sprinkle in draft content on that main channel if it goes down a more competitive route, or I'll make a separate channel, kind of like how 𝚑𝚘𝚘 does, of just specifically VGC content, because that's why 𝚑𝚘𝚘 has his up, so that way his draft stuff doesn't hurt his main videos. So there's a lot of factors as to why, but that's mainly why. It's definitely not in it because I want to paywall people, or it's like, oh, in order to see my perspective, you need to pay for it, because that just seems like free money. Like, I could care less about the money. I care more about protecting my mental and knowing that when I go into ZA, I'm not shooting my channel in the foot, you know? Because I'm in the draft league to have fun and play with my friends and be able to have a fun time, not because I want to like monetize myself or like really push my channel down a draft direction. Hopefully all of that makes sense. Once again, chat, I'm very good at yapping for very long extended periods of time. And then I sit there and I'm like, wow, did I over yap and did I yap too much? And then the gaslighting starts. No, I'm out of salty. Okay, I do have to do pickle cucumber. And I actually have just enough. That's crazy. Things we'd love to see. I don't have a team in mind for Legends ZA. I would love to tell you that I did. Unfortunately, I just don't think there's enough information about like what the official mons in the game are. Obviously, I'm a really big 𝗼𝚎 fan. I would love to have 𝗼𝚎 back and be able to run like Mega 𝗼𝚎 on the team. Mega 𝗼𝚎 and Mega Altaria are like in my top 5 mons of all time. So obviously I would love to have those on the team, but also I really like using a bunch of like newer mons when they come out, which is why I actually unironically ran 𝗔𝗓𝚗𝚗 on my Scarlet and Violet team, and I love 𝗔𝗓𝚗𝚗. He's such a silly guy. So I think we just need more information about it. I just think it's way too early for me to plan stuff, unfortunately. Mega Dragonite's a little cutie patootie though. So I think as we get more information, I'll probably be able to like tell you guys at least my thought process. But I mean, a lot of it comes down to version exclusives too. So we'll definitely see what's available as things keep coming, you know? 1, 2, and 3. Bada bing and bada boom. I love how I'm just like that awful at multitasking, chat too. For me to yap that long, I had to fully stop everything I was doing. She's really good. Which is one of the solutions I was thinking of. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm thinking of. I just also didn't want to like create a full channel for me to drop a draft league series on it, and then like in the potential that I never do draft again. You know what I mean? But that's definitely something I have. What was purple? Oh, it was that. I was like, Terra Porygon? Or not Terra, shiny. So Yeah, I appreciate you understanding, though. Like, it's a very reasonable question, and I'm sure I'm going to be asked that a lot, you know? So I'm definitely not upset at anyone asking that ever, because I think it's a very reasonable question, you know? But yeah, it is something that I definitely would plan on doing in the future, especially if that's a route that I choose to take, you know? Another thing that's really bad about it too, is my battle won against 𝗏𝗏𝗏. I was very nervous because obviously it was the first battle of the league, and I was very nervous that there was going to be like way too much on my screen and just like everything going on, that I was just going to be overwhelmed by clutter on my screen, if you will. So I was like, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like make sure my OBS is recording, and then I'm gonna minimize OBS, and I'm gonna play my lock-in playlist, and we're just gonna go from there. And I didn't realize, because it doesn't show up unless music is playing, that not only did my Spotify widget that I use for streams that only show up when music's playing cover all of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's HP bars, because A, I didn't even know it was on the screen, and B, obviously all of the music got captured in the audio file. So that was a big stinky moment. So a lot of people also weren't able to watch my battle. Like, I know Joey was like showing a lot of POVs on stream and Nexus and stuff like that. They couldn't show my POV of all of those battles either, because my music would have gotten them copyright struck. But all of the coaches have access to my dual perspective. So if you ever watch any of the watch along parties and stuff like that, that I know, Joey, Nexus, and like a few of the other team members do, they have access to my POVs. So you might be able to watch them from there. As another thing. Wait, that's shiny Lapras. Yo, chat. Hold the... What? 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 And then... What? You... Oshawott outbreak. What did I just say? Oshawott outbreak, by the way. What a hard sentence. I just kind of was like, you're the wrong color. Why are we panicking? I have an anxiety disorder. That's just the usual. I hate to inform you. You mean you don't live your life in a permanent existential state of dread, thinking about anything and everything wrong that could ever happen to you at any given moment in time? Couldn't be me. Ow! Unfortunately, I do. So you get it then. So you get it. That's a turtle. Yeah, he was just hanging out, minding his own business. Purple Lapras is so cute. I know, she's so good. And the thing is too, is like, I have specifically gone out of my way to hunt Lapras. This is a really bad thing, by the way. Perish Song is on the field. So if I run from this to reset the Perish count, that's okay, right? It doesn't... Can I do that? Chat's saying yes. I'm gonna Ultra Ball, and then if Ultra Ball doesn't work, I'm gonna run. Because that was 2. And we get the crit catch, so it doesn't even matter. Okay, chat, we're so back. We're so back. What a guy. What a fella. Yeah, get rid of you. Green scissor. Okay. Wee. Hey, Oshawott. Anytime it doesn't work is when you're in a circle with someone. Okay. For some reason, I feel like I was editing one of Rich's videos, like when he did like a wheel shiny hunting, like really big video. And when he ran, he lost the shiny, but I can't remember why. I don't think he was in a circle with anyone. Maybe I'm just remembering the situation wrong, because that is totally possible. But I feel like for some reason it didn't work. And ever since that like one moment in his video, I've been scared to do it ever since. To be honest. To be completely honest. Alrighty. I feel like Oshawott shiny should be like really noticeable too, thankfully. So we're just gonna hope for the best. You started packing for Worlds? Oh, you're braver than I. It depends on how fast like you end up getting there too. Like we don't get there till like Wednesday, I don't think. Just because A, hotels and the flights were so expensive, and like B, I can only take so much time off of work. But very excited though. I know like roughly what I want to wear, but I don't feel like I can actually start packing until like way later. That could be crazy. But what else is new? Okay, we have 22 minutes. Oh, I appreciate it, Hickey. I really do. I was just a part of the Nuzlocking group. Like I was a part of like the people who did like 3-way versus, hardcore Nuzlocks, like cage locks, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, some of the worst comments I've ever gotten were on like YouTube Shorts and stuff like that. But yeah, the comment sections can be awful. And like I said, I've been called about every single slur in the book. Yeah, it's really tough, but especially I've heard it's been getting worse too, which is like really sad. I have a lot of friends who are still in like the Then We Fight community, and the stuff that they have told me that has been commented on their videos, I'm like, what? Like, where's this coming from? Like, what? But chat, we forget to remember, chat knows all. And content creator, dumb, stupid. Because, like, obviously, no one's gonna make, like, perfect plays 24/7. But it's crazy. The reason Duncan doesn't do draft anymore is because of the toxicity he received from Wolfie stands. Oh, wow. That's so sad. Duncan's been really nice to me. Like, Duncan's been a really good friend. Unironically, Duncan has helped me, like, with my PC. I used to have, like, insane PC issues for probably, like, 2.5 years straight. And don't get me wrong, chat. We still have scuff. It would not be a Lynn stream if there wasn't scuff in some capacity. And I'm really glad I could showcase that by my first video of draft being scuffed. But yeah, Duncan used to like help me out in DMs with like tech support all the time. So Duncan's been nothing but like a really kind friend to me. So that does make me very sad that like that's what pushed him out of it. Yeah, I don't know why people feel the need to leave like hate comments if you don't like the person or you don't like the video. Like, why can't it just be like TikTok where you just scroll and move on? You know? Like, you would think that that would be a simple concept. But like I said, the things that have been said, like, it's like whiplash almost. I'm just like, where, what, how, your brain came up with that? Out of this situation? Crazy. I know my friend Rich gets like a lot of hate comments on a lot of Then We Fight stuff, and that makes me really sad because Rich is genuinely one of like the kindest people ever. But I know it's like a situation for him where like he feels like he can't even like read comment sections anymore. And like that's so tough as a creator because obviously you want to like give support to the people who are showing support to you. You know what I mean? Like I really try to go out of my way to like anytime someone comments on a video to either like comment back like, oh my God, thank you. And like, you know, heart it or stuff like that if I don't have the ability to respond. And so like feeling like you can't go in there and show support to people who show support to you because you're so afraid of seeing like the heinous, I genuinely mean like heinous things that people have to say about you. There wasn't anything Wolfie that he never promoted, but Duncan was absolutely eviscerated by toxic comments. That's so sad. No, Rich is so great. Rich and I have been friends for years too. He's actually like, I would say neighbor, but like he does not live close enough to me to be neighbors. But we're in a friend group. We all live in Georgia together, actually. So like me, Rich, Dylan, Frank, Ryan, John Stone, Vandy, obviously, Razor Middle. I'm sure there's people. Shan, Carthu. There's so many of us now. It's so hard to keep them all straight. We all live in Georgia, and we're all just like one giant like friend group. So Rich has been in Georgia like with us for so long, and even then I was friends with him before that. But Rich is one of the most genuine, kind, down-to-earth, understanding, supportive people you could ever have in your friend group. He just wants people to be happy. And, like, that's such a nice thing, you know? I swear Georgia's the PokeTuber Mecca. Second place would be New York. That's fair. Because that area has, like, Vinny, Shady... There's a whole bunch of people in New York. Or just that general area, you know? I'm trying to, like, not dox people at the same time, too, you know? But, yeah. Home of the 𝗏𝗏𝗔𝗎𝚘. It's such a cool place to be. I genuinely love it here so much. I moved because of, like, friends, right? It definitely was not like a networking thing for me ever, but like the fact that it's just good people and good fun and we all try to just support and uplift each other. Like that's the environment you need. Why can't comment sections do that? You know? It's question of the day, chat. Also, hi Connor. I'm very glad that you found a game that you enjoy, you know? Things we'd love to see. Also, I do agree. Discord is updating like to an insane degree. I feel like every time I open it, there's a new update, but I never see anything different. Thoughts? Thoughts? I'd want to live in Georgia if it weren't for the weather. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's been hot recently. Like we've been like yucky hot. It's been like actually semi-cold. I say cold very loosely. This week because we just got like nothing but rain. So we've been in like high 60s, low 70s all week, and it's been so nice. So nice. It's all I want. I just want it to continue, to be honest with you. But other than that, like Georgia's actually pretty nice. Like as long as you can survive like May. No, I'd say June. May's too nice. I'd say June to August. Like, that's the worst of it. And the rest of it's so nice. Opinions on Delaware? Sometimes I forget it's a state, but I've never been there, so I can't judge it. I do just forget that it's a state sometimes. Delaware's just one of those niche ones that you never hear about. Kind of like New Hampshire and Vermont, I feel like. You just forget that it's a thing sometimes. I heard that Lynn's favorite moment in her entire career was being the worst person to... Oh, was being the first person. I thought you said the worst person at first, and I was like, Logan? I know you're having a bad day. I saw the bad day. I just couldn't, like, interrupt earlier. But, like, the worst person? No, I just can't read. That is fair. I was the founding father of 𝗟𝚗𝚗𝚘. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? I despise even entertaining the thought of Atlanta traffic. No, that's not shade at all. Atlanta traffic and Atlanta drivers are the worst ever, actually. Like, I won't cap with you for a second. Like, the stuff that I have seen here is preposterous, and it's just so normalized. It's genuinely crazy. Like, I understand why, like, driver's insurance is so much here. It's because people are silly, stinky, stupid, like... And when I say this, I mean, like, literally today, I was at a red light. Let's give you a visual here, right? So, oh, the high seal. Okay, so, visual here. You guys are understanding. You guys can see, right? Yes, okay, great. Oh, my cover on my mic came off. Oh, well, this is fine. So, at red light, I am in right-hand lane to turn right. Your only other options are middle lane to go straight or left lane, guess what, chat? This is crazy, to go left, right? So I was in the very front of the right-hand lane. This person today, by the way, was in middle lane. Middle lane decided, I don't want to be middle lane anymore. I want to turn right. And so instead of doing what, like, because keep in mind, there was no one behind them. That's very important to, like, understand here. Instead of waiting for me and the one other person behind me to turn right and then just go in to the right-hand lane behind us, considering there was no one behind them, so they had the space to, like, stall, if you will, and just sit there, they decided that they were going to, keep in mind, into oncoming traffic, start to turn in front of me, and they had their car at a perpendicular angle like this to cut me off from turning right in the right-hand lane because they wanted to go first. So when it was my turn to go, I then had to wait for them to completely pull their car in front of my car and cut me off because I had nowhere to go. I could not drive and I wasn't gonna hit them. So that way they could go and cut me and the other person off. And they sat here at this angle in front of me, cutting me off from my turn lane for so long because they didn't have the balls to ever actually go because that light takes forever. Is that not crazy? Is that not insane? And, like, granted, that's not, like, huge public safety risk issue, right? Like, no one would have gotten hurt in that situation unless I, like, literally just was not paying attention, right? But, like, why would you just not do the first option? Like, why is the unsafe, like, buck wild option your first thought process, you know? I don't get it. I have not even heard of that area in Tennessee. That's very fascinating. Yeah, I try not to actually drive in, like, true Atlanta traffic as much as possible. Like, if you're on, like, 85, 785, anything like that, yucky. I'm sure there's another one. Isn't there 285 too? There's so many of them, and they split off so many different directions. But, yeah, no. Yucky. Some people with the F it, we ball mentality. Exactly. Exactly. Also, Logan, have no fear. I know that you would never say that about me. Don't you even worry about it. That's why I was like, I'm surely reading this incorrectly. And guess what? I was. And guess what? I did, and I was. Because, unironically, chat, I know we talked about the fact that I was sleep deprived for my battle next week. You'll never guess who's sleep deprived today. It's me. I'm on 4 hours of sleep. If that, actually. I don't even know if I got 4. But we're balling. And you guys probably wouldn't know otherwise because I'm really good at masking. Yeah? No, we do not have Interstate 69, at least to my knowledge. We very well could, and I'm just not aware of it, but off the top of the dome, we don't. I imagine I'll get no sleep at Worlds. Wait, why? I mean, the competitions end relatively early at Worlds, which is the nice thing. The thing I'm excited for is I can typically watch all 3 screens at once. I know they're doing it in an arena this year, so I am very curious to see like how an arena ends up working out as opposed to how they've done it in the past. But typically you can watch all 3 events at once. And because I'm really involved in the Unite scene, it's nice because Unite typically finishes the day before VGC and TCG finish. So we can like hyper farm all of the Unite content. And while we're in between matches for Unite, just look over to the screen like 1 or 2 over and watch all the VGC stuff happen. And then Sunday, when they do all the champion stuff, I can literally just focus on VGC stuff and not have to worry about Unite because Unite champions would have already happened on Saturday. It's great. It's great. Also, I'm not doing barbecues. I appreciate you for offering to help, but I'm just shiny hunting. I'm shiny hunting, not barbecuing. Yo, beginning! I'm excited to meet people for Worlds. The screen will be nice for when I need to get off my feet. I do enjoy watching the matches. Yeah, the meeting people is really fun. Like, there's so many people going this year, which is actually really, really cool to see. Because obviously, because of the location last year, not a lot of people went to Hawaii, so it definitely wasn't, like, as big of a social thing for me and Vandy when we were there last year. It was just more so the environment and being able to be in Hawaii and all that kind of stuff, you know, right? But I'm very excited to like hang out with people, meet a whole bunch of new people that I haven't met before. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I am like really invested in the like competitive stuff. And so I'm definitely one of the people of like, well, if I won the lottery ticket to get the like pass to be able to even get into Worlds, and the whole point of going to Worlds is like the competition stuff, and I'm really invested in the competition, I want to watch the competition. I can hang out with my friends and plan a trip whenever I want to. Pokemon Worlds and seeing the actual competition in person only happens like, what, like once a year, and you're not even guaranteed to be able to go, right? You know? And it'd be different if I just did not care about the competition scene at all. But like the fact that we got lucky that it's in America 3 years in a row, like that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, there's no reason for it to be in America 3 years in a row. They typically do a whole bunch of different places. Like, it went from the UK to Japan. You know what I mean? Like, how did we go from UK, Japan, to America, America, America? Like, what? So. I'm very excited. I already told Vandy ahead of time. I'm like, listen, if you want to, like, go to a lunch or something, you can. I'll be perched right here. I will be perched right here watching the content happen. Don't you even worry about it. Lynn's aka Wolfie. I regret to inform you I'm not even on the same caliber, but I appreciate the kindness and consideration. You moved to the West Coast this year. That's so nice. I hope you enjoy it though. I visited West Coast. I don't think it's ever a place I could like see myself moving to though. It's super nice to like visit though, just for like a change of pace, and like the fact that your air isn't like wet. Like dry heat as opposed to like humidity, and like drinking your water instead of inhaling your water is pretty cool. Like that's a really nice quality of life feature that they decided to include for the West Coast. You know? I'm struggling with the whole social aspect of it. I want to interact with humans, but anxiety's a thing. I mean, the thing is too, is like, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. The Pokemon community is full of other people that are riddled with anxiety disorders and a whole bunch of like fear of social interaction. Like, yes, you have your introverts, but like there's so many people there who are just like you. And everyone's just there because they love Pokemon, is what it is, which is nice. You know what I mean? So many people are kind and understanding and like willing to have conversations or like trade Pokemon cards or like trade things in Pokemon Go. Like, it's such a easy place to be able to talk to people. Even it's just being like, hey, I really like your plushie. And they like say, hey, thanks. And then you walk away. Like, that's it. But that's immediately just like a positive interaction with someone that has no like commitment to it. You know what I mean? It's not like you're locked into conversation with them, but you know, you could always be like, I really like that Pokemon. That was my starter in my Nuzlocke I did. And they'll say, oh, that's really cool. And you'll be like, yeah, have a good day. And they'll say, yeah, you too. You know? But they're going to remember the fact that that person came up to them and said that they like their plushie. And they're going to be like, yeah, this person had that as their starter. That's kind of cool. You know? But it's just, it's so easy to like make conversations with people, talk to people, because like I said, there's literally just Pokemon everywhere. You know? Even though we established that community can be toxic, I truly hope you have a good experience with draft. I haven't seen as much toxicity as it used to be. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And like I said, all of the coaches have been nothing but kind, and that's been really nice going into this. Like I said, I just really didn't know what to expect, and obviously everything that I said going into just like this entire season and my thought process, I guess, if you will. But I appreciate you for being like kind and understanding and like super supportive as well. Because there are definitely a lot of people who could come in here and be like, you just want to paywall your viewers, and that's really sick, and that's really messed up that like you got invited to a draft league and then blah 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 blah. So the fact that you were like genuinely like really kind and open to like other thought processes and point of views and like the concern that I had and didn't just like brush it off is really nice. Really nice. I'd like just combined kind and nice together. It's very nice. That's very nice of you. So thank you for understanding, and I appreciate you for stopping by. And if you have to go and head out and do all the wonderful stuff for your day, night, whatever time zone you are, just know that I appreciate you hearing me out and being kind, you know? Also, thank you so much for the follow, by the way. Upstairs Value, I hope you're having a great, wonderful rest of your day as well. Thank you for stopping by. We also have 2 minutes left on the sandwich. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, we'll see if we can get any last minute shinies. But I do have mocks with Ben after this, so I will probably go ahead and end the stream and put my mic cover back on my mic. After the sandwich ends up running out. We all deserve a jet-to holiday. Wasn't it like, and you could save up to $6.99 per person. 699 pounds per person? Something like that. It's like you know it when you're not consciously thinking about it and you just vocal stim. But then when you're actually trying to think about it, you're like, what are the actual words? I don't even know. Who even knows anymore? Somebody come get her. There is a shiny Oshawott. Somebody come get her. The Oshawotts are not shining. Somebody come get her. I made him a cucumber sandwich. He doesn't care about my cucumber sandwich shot. No, another crazy one that's going around right now, chat, is the lizard. 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 The trend for that one is so silly. That's like literally all my feed is right now, is either jet-to, holiday, lizard, or anything K-pop Demon Hunter related. That's my entire For You page. Like 100%. Who's your opponent this week? I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm fighting 𝗑𝗓. And the... what is their team name? San Diego Spirits, I think? I literally filmed my team builder today. Yeah. Grandmaster D-Ray and the San Diego Spirits. His team is scary into mine because everything it does, it counters me. Every single mon has so much coverage. And it was very scary. And I almost threw up and died. But I didn't. I just said, lizard, 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 lizard. I like how that's just what's brought us all together at the end of the day, chat. It's just silly little lizard, you know? You haven't come across lizard yet? That's so shocking. That's so shocking. Lizard is, I kid you not, like every other video for me. And if it's not, it's like a remix. Like, hold on. I said this to people earlier.
Lizard. Popping bottles in the ice. Like a lizard. When we drink, we do it right. Getting lizard. Lizard. In my ride. Like popping bottles in the ice. Like hold up. Lizard. Headshot. Lizard. Sit down. Lizard. Stand up. Lizard. Pass out. Lizard. Wake up. Lizard. Fade it. Lizard. Hold up.
So that's my For You page in order. I opened the app and that was 3 in a row, chat. 3 in a row. And I think that speaks for itself. Also, that's one of the creators I haven't watched their stuff, full transparency, until I watched the Bubble Draft video. I didn't know you existed. I've watched Vandy before. I will subscribe to you. Thank you. Vandy's my boyfriend. We just run into very different niches. It doesn't help that I don't make videos. So that's probably where a lot of people would recognize people, to be fair. So like, I can't blame you for not knowing who I was, and like, I'm not going to be offended. I'm much more in the live streaming sphere. I was way more invested in the, like I said, the Nuzlocke scene way back then. So like, I did Nuzlocks a while ago with like Short Tempered, King Corefish, Asteroid Mania videos, and stuff like that. So a lot of people knew me out of association of them. But ever since I leaned out of the video making sphere and way more into the live streaming sphere, obviously I just haven't been associated with those people as much, even though they're like still really good friends of mine. I just don't do collaborative videos with them that much anymore. I just get a lot more like emotional fulfillment out of doing live streaming, you know? But I appreciate it though. Yeah. Vandy and I have been dating for like 4-ish years. So it's been a good time. He's my best friend and I love him. But no, you're all good. I will never be offended by people saying that. So don't you even worry. But that's also why I'm hoping to like come back to video making with Z8, because for the first time since like Gen 8, I actually have like inspiration ideas for a video, and that hasn't happened since what? When did Sword and Shield come out? 2020, 2019, 2019. It would have been tail end of 2019 going into 2020. I just watched Vinny's video where they called you to rank the Pokemon for the Then We Fight. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, Vandy woke me up for that, and I was like, hey. And he's like, good morning. I'm like, hey. So silly. So silly. But I am going to get out of here so I can go ahead and start mocking with Ben, because I know Ben is on limited time with his old man schedule. But I appreciate you guys all for hanging out. We do go live as much as my work schedule allows me to. I typically try to be live around 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys enjoy cozy Pokemon content and all that kind of stuff, definitely feel free to follow, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. As I said, Draft League content will be coming up. I will be showcasing my POVs of the Draft League like I did for this one. Obviously, I couldn't show my POV this week because of the copyrighted content, but I will show my POV of the battle at the start of every week as well. So that's another alternative as well, is if people don't want to pay for memberships. I will be doing like weekly like walkthroughs and just kind of be like, this was my thought process here, and this is why I did this, and this was the thought process behind that. So just like how we did today, except it'll be my POV instead of my opponent's POV. We can watch my opponent's POV if people really want to see it, but that is another thing as well for any of you guys who are like, hey, I want to watch the battles, but I don't want a member, which is totally fine. And like I said, I'm not in it for the money. So just note that that's an option in the future. Do you release the VODs on your channel? Yeah, all of my live stream stuff is public. It's always public on YouTube. It takes a little bit for it to go up on Twitch, just because I have like it's called Seribot. It's a whole thing. I digress. It means nothing to viewers, but it takes a little longer for VODs to go up on Twitch, but VODs are instant on YouTube. The only reason VODs would ever not go up on YouTube is if for some reason, like, music blocks it. So, like, I don't think, because I literally just did, like, tiny little clips of Lizard. If for any reason Lizard blocks it, that would be the only concern. But, yeah, VODs will always be up too. So don't you even worry about it. So spread the word to anyone else who wants to see it, I guess. But have a good rest of your night, guys. I'm going to stop yapping. Otherwise, I'm never going to stop yapping. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good night. Why is the spooky music happening? No, we're not leaving on, like, what sounds like something's going to come out of, like, the corner and, like, we're just... Anyways. All right. Good night, everyone.